You know this diverse provider one? We had the discussion around all those charters in the public hearing at the charter presentation.
Yes.
And I remember very clearly, President London, you wondering out loud whether the African American Male Academy could be part of the district. Mm-hmm. And there was some ambiguity about that, but sufficient emotional interest that it seems to me that that is an example of a diverse provider. And the question is, do we have space under the umbrella of our strategic plan for something like some other mechanism for a school which is so dramatically different than the other schools we have? And similarly, we had the discussion about the two schools, Learning Without Limits and Ascend, which seek some other kind of authority or arrangement. Could they become diverse providers of high quality service in our district?
How do you define a diverse provider? Because you seem to have a certain, you seem to have a certain definition of that I hear when you use that term.
Well, I know it when I see it.
You know it when you see it. Okay.
Well, no, basically it goes back to Director Kakashiba's thing. If we have a criterion for and Vice President Hodge, if we have some definition of a full-service community school and somebody meets that standard, but they choose not to operate under the boards, under what traditional schooling, then I would say we would ask the question, could they be a diverse provider? This is uncharted territory. But so right now, there's only two choices. Either they're part of our school system as a system of 100 schools, or they are somewhere else, like an external school, a private school, a Catholic school, a parochial school. But we have no diverse provider thing. They're either providing under us, or they're not providing under us.
Anybody else want to weigh in on this? And how would charter schools within your definition of a diverse provider?
Well, I'm glad you asked me, because I've thought about this some while I've been working on this with Mr. Chen. If a charter school would agree to operate under the strategic plan, under the principles of the strategic plan, and if they accepted the structures of the district around equity, the principles around equity, access, and success, and they met some criteria much like a charter school does now under our charter school office. I mean, this is the first time I've said it in public, but why not?
And then what happens? What's the benefit to that? What do you get for being a diverse provider? Do you get a building? Do you get a
We give them a
badge?
certificate.
I don't know. Well, I'm a little bit glib, but I'm also serious. Like, what is it that comes with it?
I think what comes with it is that children are educated. So I don't really think that this should be a play around buildings or anything else like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, are we talking about providing diverse providers, quality education for the benefit of children? Then they get to do their craft, they get to do their work, and they get to educate young people. It sounds all really wonderful, but there are particular conditions that don't even allow us to meet the criterion that we talk about.
Okay, so go with that, because I think this is a good.
Go with the part around.
Can you elaborate on that? Where you see these conditions being held up and.
I mean, the first one is the one that we're always struggling with, and that's resources, obviously. I think that we're moving in that direction, as Mr. Chen said, about, the high quality teaching and instruction piece is still being kind of developed out, and we're really truly defining that. But that's a set of conditions there that we're still figuring out and wanting to be really clear around. And so a diverse provider may have some of those things thought out and worked out in terms of how they deliver professional development or how they think about teacher conduct or any of those kinds of elements. So I think, again, conditions there's many. And there's some that we know are not allowing us to really fully educate how we'd like to see. So yeah, that's it.
So if we're going to continue this conversation around the diverse provider, I mean, Director Yee, would we have like a rubric, a scorecard, someone, I mean,
Well, for
I'm
me.
trying to understand how this operationalizes.
Well, that's why we're having, I think, this study session, because we all probably have different ways of viewing it. Vice President Hodge doesn't like the facilities be part of the discussion. I personally think, based upon bullet 1 and our experience with consolidating schools, we actually have a surplus of facilities that could be used as schools. I think that's one of the assets that we should take seriously, and we should allocate those intelligently to schools which seek to be one of a diverse set of providers under the strategic plan of the Oakland Unified School District.
But we actually currently do that under Prop 39. So we have empty classrooms, we have schools that we make available to charter organizations that want to house their schools there. So there's actually provision for that to happen. So, I mean, I was more objecting to that there's some kind of trade-off that we're doing here.
No, I was a little more
within the
transactional
system.
than you.
Yeah, and I don't believe that we should have young people in the middle of any of our transactions, really.
The second thing is, I think some schools would like to be part of the district because they see the district moving in the right direction. And like I had a comment, I made a comment around the Civic Corps charter renewal earlier today in our teaching and learning. I asked them if they were aware that we have this fantastic West Oakland STEM Corridor initiative going on. They had no clue. Oh no, this was KIP. KIP had no clue that there was this West Oakland STEM Corridor right in their backyard. And it seems to me that if they were a diverse provider, they could be part of that initiative.
Well, let's define diverse provider, because I don't understand. They are a charter organization that is monitored and managed by us. We have limitations in our own office around how we engage that community. We've had very cautious, thought out initiatives with the Aspire schools, for example, around literacy. There was a lot that it took for us to even do that. But again, my issue was always, if they're doing really good work and we're competing against them, why aren't we learning what they do and do it better? So Aspire is one. So so I guess I need to be really clear about when you're saying diverse provider. I thought that diverse provider meant, I don't know, charter school. What else could be a diverse provider? I don't know. An after school, a contract school. I mean, is provider meaning school just in this particular case? I mean, because it could be after school programming. It could be.
Right, that's what I'm
A
struggling.
provider could be doing anything. It could be providing mental health services. They could be doing a number of things. I mean, I don't want to create code here unless we're just being really clear. Is diverse provider, are we translating that to mean charter schools?
That's what I'm trying to understand also.
Okay.
What do you think? David?
I mean, that's why this discussion is important.